Someone shot a Lexington gas station clerk during a robbery. We are live with the latest. And we have developing news in the Big Apple. Injuries are being reported after an explosion in Manhattan.
This is WKYT News at 11.
More storms are heading our way. Thanks for staying up with WKYT. I'm Kristen Kennedy. We are tracking more rain overnight and tomorrow. Meteorologist Mike Linden starts us off with the no-wait weather forecast.
Kristen, it just continues to remain ugly here in the bluegrass, especially so in southern Kentucky, where it has been raining all day long, still not catching a break, especially right now in Jackson County, moving through McKee, pushing eastward into Owsley County and continuing to work its way eastward, pretty much right between the Mountain Parkway and the Hal Rogers Parkway. That corridor pushing eastward continues to just stay wet, ugly, gray. It's just been soggy all day long, and it's all because of this very slow-moving cold front continuing to track its way eastward. As moisture works its way southward along that front, it's just fueling the rain as it continues to pour. If you have to wake up early tomorrow morning and drive on I-75 South or near the Mountain Parkway or Hal Rogers Parkway, take it easy because more rounds of rain and storms are on the way. I'll take you hour by hour and show you what we'll find on Sunday.
Shot on the job tonight. Lexington police are looking for the man who shot a gas station clerk during a robbery. That robbery happened at the Marathon on Lansdowne Drive near Reynolds Road. This all unfolded less than an hour after another robbery at the Shell in Lexington Green. WKYT's Caitlin Sentner is live with our top story at 11.
Kristen, it's still a very active scene right now at this hour as Lexington police continue to investigate a shooting they say happened a few hours ago. We've got the crime lab unit here as well as the robbery homicide unit. Now, neighbors across the street, we talked to them earlier and they say they saw everything. They were out playing cornhole when they heard a few shots. They saw the suspect run out, get in a car, and speed down Lansdowne. And here's what police know right now. Just after 8 o'clock, they were called out to an armed robbery at Marathon at the corner of Lansdowne and Tartan. When they got here, they found the 49-year-old clerk shot multiple times. He was taken to UK hospital, but he's expected to be okay. As far as the suspect goes, police say he didn't get away with anything. They say he's a young man wearing a blue hoodie and he's armed with a pistol. To try and get ahead of him, just in case, police circled around to area gas stations. Now, there was a robbery about an hour before this over near Lexington Green. Police aren't sure right now if the two are related, but say the robberies have similar suspect and vehicle descriptions. Witnesses say they talk to the victim almost every single day.
As they were bringing him out on the stretcher, I just kind of screamed because I'm crazy like that. And I was like, "You got this, man, you got this, dude." And I think after like the third time I yelled, I saw him put up 2 thumbs up. So I think he's doing awesome. He's a Marine.
Now, police do have surveillance footage they were looking at. They say as of right now, they believe this man is still armed. Live in Lexington, Caitlin Sentner, WKYT.
Now to a developing story in New York. Police and firefighters are on the scene of an explosion in Manhattan. Police say more than 24 people are injured. That scene, you're taking a live look at it right now, is on West 23rd Street in the Chelsea neighborhood. They've just wrapped up a press conference there. Witnesses say leaders with the FBI and Homeland Security are out there. Reports of that blast come just a few hours after a pipe bomb explosion in Seaside Park, New Jersey. That explosion happened right before thousands of runners participated in a charity 5K race benefiting Marines and sailors.
I heard it and I yelled to my neighbor and said, "What was that?"
The explosion blew a hole in a trash can just as runners in the Semper Fi race were due to pass. Thankfully, a heavy turnout for the race slowed registration and delayed their start. No one was hurt. A driver in Lexington is recovering tonight after a wreck on Military Pike near Keene Road. Firefighters say the driver's truck flipped and landed on top of him. Crews spent quite some time getting him out from underneath the truck. We're told he has non-life-threatening injuries. We have a sad update to bring you tonight. The husband of a Kentucky woman who's losing her battle with cystic fibrosis has died. Dalton Prager also had cystic fibrosis. Friends of his wife, Katie, were raising money to move Dalton from a hospital in his hometown of St. Louis to UK so the dying couple could be together. WKYT's Sabira Rayford is at the live desk with Katie's final message to her husband.
Today was supposed to be Katie's Christmas celebration. It's one of the things she wants to do before she dies. But a day of celebration turned into a day of mourning after she found out her husband passed away. Katie and Dalton met on Facebook. The two had a lot in common. They were both fighting cystic fibrosis. In an interview, Katie told us it's not recommended for CF patients to date, but she said they couldn't resist. Katie and Dalton recently received new lungs, but the couple hasn't been doing so well. Dalton was in his hometown of St. Louis suffering from pneumonia when he passed away this afternoon. Katie and Dalton's story has gained national attention. The couple had just raised enough money to fly Dalton to Kentucky to be with Katie. Shortly after his passing, she posted to their Facebook page expressing her love. She said, quote, "Dalton fought a long, hard battle with cystic fibrosis. He was a courageous fighter, and give up wasn't in his vocabulary." Katie is spending her final days with family in Flemingsburg. She's now planning an end-of-life celebration. At the live desk, Sabira Rayford, WKYT.
Katie's family plans to reschedule their Christmas celebration. Family of a man missing for several weeks laid him to rest today. 38-year-old Bobby Jones and his girlfriend Crystal Warner went missing in July. Investigators found his body last month. They're still searching for Warner's. This afternoon in Letcher County, Jones's parents said they're glad they could bring their son home.
Bob was a good boy. He just a fun-loving son. He loved his mommy so much, and all of his family. We pray for Crystal's parents, you know, that they'll find her and they'll get to have a funeral too.
State police have arrested one person, Craig Pennington, for both murders. The Wayne County Sheriff's Office says a deputy nearly drowned tonight while trying to save someone else from drowning. The sheriff says Deputy Ethan Jones had to go to the hospital for observation. The sheriff is thanking a 13-year-old who pulled both the deputy and the other victim from the water. He says that teen saved both lives. The U.S. military says they may have unintentionally hit Syrian troops while carrying out a raid against the Islamic State group. Today's attack marked the first known direct American strike on Syrian President Bashar Assad's forces. A senior Obama administration leader says the United States has relayed our regret for the unintentional loss of life. We now know the name of a woman killed in a southern Kentucky crash. The wreck happened in Clay County on Highway 80 near Horse Creek Holiness Church, that's close to Manchester. The coroner says 2 women were thrown from an SUV. 33-year-old Jessica Slover died. The coroner says emergency crews rushed Slover's friend to UK Hospital. We do not know her name or how she's doing tonight. A man is dead and 2 police officers are on leave after a shooting in western Kentucky. State police say overnight in Owensboro, 29-year-old Lucas Anderson put a knife up to a woman's throat. Anderson, we're told, then charged at the officers who tried to calm him down. They shot him. State police say the officers involved are on paid leave pending an investigation. This was a terrifying wake-up for a Lexington couple. Someone fired shots into their home. Around 5:30 this morning on Liberty Road near Winchester Road, witnesses heard people arguing and then told police they heard shots. Kathy Tillett says her husband woke up to the sound of at least 4 gunshots, and 3 of them hit their home.
When I walked to the front door, there was broken glass everywhere. And they had shot through a picture that was hanging on my wall, and it traveled all the way through my house and hit another hole in the back wall. My husband said the bullet traveled about 50 feet.
Witnesses told police a small silver car was in the area at the time of the shooting. Officers are still searching for the car and the shooter. Before today's Kentucky football game, the university honored a fallen member of the Kentucky State Police. Trooper Blake Tribby died in 2013. Only recently was his death recognized as being in the line of duty. His name and picture flashed across the big screens inside Commonwealth right after the playing of the national anthem. Today also marked an anniversary for Trooper Tribby and his family.
6 years ago today, Blake and Cadet Class 88 graduated from the Kentucky State Police Academy. And during their graduation, the cadets always sing "My Old Kentucky Home." And so 6 years later, while we wish Blake was here, it's special that he's being honored again while my old Kentucky home is being played.
Today was UK Heroes Day. The team dedicated their game to all men and women who serve. Lee K will break down the Wildcats' first win of the season coming up a little later in Game Time.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Mike Linden.
Well, it has been an ugly weekend, to say the least, and not necessarily what happened on the field at Commonwealth Stadium earlier this evening, but what we've been seeing throughout the Bluegrass State, and that's wet weather. Now, while we are still seeing some of it right now, it has died down considerably. Of course, with the sun setting, we are losing the energy behind those storms, but regardless, still seeing plenty of heavy rain falling right now over Jackson County, Breathitt County, and pushing eastward into Owsley County. This has just been a messy day, to say the least. These areas have seen rainfall almost all day today. It began this afternoon, and it has not let up really at any point. This cold front that has pushed in the active weather is moving very slowly. And mind you, we are still looking at that warm, moist air from the Gulf of Mexico working its way in from the south. And look at the eastern side of that front, from Toronto, Canada, all the way into the Gulf Coast. We're just seeing the same thing. Storms and heavy rainfall firing just to the east of that front. That is what we are seeing in Kentucky, and that's what the models are agreeing with. Notice this is just a few minutes ago at 11 o'clock, but we'll push it forward into motion here as we head into Sunday morning. We will continue to see additional rounds of storms working their way through the south and southeast. A few central spots could be getting in on some spotty storms, but the bulk of the wet weather will be staying in southeastern Kentucky. So for people that live near there, take it easy on those roadways. We talked about the corridor between the Hal Rogers Parkway and the Mountain Parkway right along eastern Kentucky. That area has seen just a ton of rain through the evening, and we'll continue to see more tomorrow. Take it easy on those roadways. Heading into tomorrow afternoon and into the evening hours, still looking at a few leftover spotty showers behind that front. But for the most part, as we head into Monday, things will begin to clear out and calm down a little bit. Temperatures actually work their way back into the mid to low 80s as the sunshine returns. But overall, not looking like a bad work week out ahead of us. It's just the bookends that are going to be pretty ugly. Tomorrow and then way later in the work week, Friday and into next Saturday. Look at this. The real meat of the 7-day forecast looks really darn good. Not to mention, the first day of fall is this Thursday. And look at that daytime high. Feeling fall-like. 86 degrees. Mother Nature just can't make up her mind. We just continue on with this topsy-turvy weather that we have just seen over the past few weeks, Kristen. But hey, at least we'll see a whole lot of sunshine this work week.
Yeah, and a little heat next week.
Yeah, a little heat, then a little humidity, some storms. It's just wacky.
Thank you, Mike. Kentucky and New Mexico State had a shootout this afternoon. Lee K has highlights next on Game Time.
Coming up tonight on Game Time, the Wildcats kept the scoreboard operator busy tonight in an offensive shootout with New Mexico State. Louisville had the national stage, and Lamar Jackson made his case for the Heisman. Those highlights and many more from across the Bluegrass are next on Game Time. And good evening. Kentucky football returning home for week 3 to host New Mexico State. This game not so much for the fans, but for the team and their confidence after the 0-2 start. Mark Stoops had heard all the chatter this week, taking over more defensive play calling responsibilities. Following an interception on UK's first possession, the Aggies going deep. Jonathan Boone to Tyler Rogers. 35 yards for the New Mexico State touchdown. Drew Barker suffered a back injury on the Wildcats' first drive. More on him a little bit later. So backup Steven Johnson would run the offense, and he hands the ball off to Boom Williams. Boom goes 63 yards to even up the score. Boom had a game-high 181 yards rushing. Aggies would answer right back, though, with the trick play. Tyrane Tyler, the halfback pass to Jonathan Boone, all alone in the end zone. NMSU regains the lead 14-7. Still in the first. Johnson dumps it off to his tight end, C.J. Conrad. Conrad makes his first reception of the season count. 72 yards down the sideline. Knotted up at 14 again. Following another Aggies touchdown. Again, it's Johnson to Conrad. Over the middle and in for 6. tied at 21 apiece. This game was tied at 28 with a minute to go in the half, and the true freshman Benny Snell takes the snap out of the Wildcat formation. He's in for his second touchdown of the game. This game was tied at 35 at halftime. Third quarter, Johnson finds his favorite target again. That's right, it's Conrad. He finished with 133 yards and 3 touchdowns. Johnson, by the way, passed for 310 yards in all 3 scores. The other offensive MVP was Benny Snell. He will not be denied once again out of the Wildcat formation. Snell had 136 yards on the ground and 4 rushing touchdowns. Kentucky had 692 yards of total offense, and they get their first win of the season, 62-42. Here's Rob Bromley.
So the Cats celebrate their first win in the highest scoring game in Commonwealth Stadium history, a total of 104 points. It did not get off to a good start, just as the season hasn't. Mark Stoops said he was proud of the way his players were able to pull it together.
We always get back to work, win or lose. You know, we're going to work the same way and have the same attitude and be positive and everything else. But it is hard. You know, there's no doubt about it. They say that it's no fun when it gets to the point where it's just relief. There's no joy in the win, it's just relief. But, you know, I know we'll get better. I really do. We got a good football team. We don't have a great football team. We have a good football team.
I think we went really well. Just as an offense, we performed phenomenally. I don't know our stats or anything, but just to be able to come out here and do what we needed to do, run the ball, pass the ball efficiently, it was phenomenal.
This was really a must-win for Kentucky, and the emergence of Benny Snell at running back and Steven Johnson at quarterback were huge, especially with Drew Barker getting hurt. Mark Stoops did not have any update tonight on Barker. At Commonwealth Stadium, Rob Bromley, WKYT Game Time.
Thank you, Rob. Like you said, Stoops said after the game that Drew Barker was taken to the hospital with a back injury, but he did not have any further update. Of course, his status is unknown for next week's game against South Carolina. This afternoon, South Carolina hosting East Carolina. Not sure what that was. First quarter, Brandon McElwain runs through the ECU defense for the 10-yard touchdown. His second of the day, 14-0 South Carolina. Fourth quarter now 20-9. Philip Nelson swings it out to Devin Anderson for a 4-yard score. Pirates cut the lead to 5. Later in the fourth, Carolina facing 4th and 1. David Williams rushes for the first down and a 25-yard gain to seal it. Gamecocks win 20-15. Damian Harris in Alabama getting a big test from Ole Miss. The game was tied at 27 in the third quarter, and Harris takes the handoff and check out the run by the Madison Southern product, making all of Berea proud. 67 yards down to the 1-yard line. Bama would score a play later. Harris finished with 16 carries, 144 yards, and then in the fourth quarter, now 34-30, and Harris finds the end zone from a yard out. His first of the season. Alabama holds on to beat Ole Miss 48-43. Several other Bluegrass schools were on the field today, including Morehead State, EKU, and Kentucky State. And don't forget about Louisville. Cardinals showed up in a big way on the national stage. Those highlights are next on Game Time. Louisville found itself on the national stage today following 2 wins to start this season. ESPN's College Game Day even made its first ever appearance in the Cardinal country today for a top 10 matchup against Florida State. Cardinals quarterback Lamar Jackson trying to throw his name into the hat for the Heisman Trophy. I believe he did so today. First quarter, Louisville up 7-0. Jackson keeps it and runs it in for the 14-yard touchdown. Cardinals lead 14-0. Louisville had a 35-10 lead at the half. Here in the third quarter off the Florida State punt, Jair Alexander weaving his way through the Seminoles for the touchdown, 42-10 Louisville. Fourth quarter, guess who? Jackson keeps it again, going 47 yards this time for the touchdown. Can you say Heisman moment? 146 yards rushing and 4 rushing touchdowns for Jackson. The Cardinals destroy Florida State 63-20. Big crowd on family weekend at Morehead State. The Eagles playing host to Lincoln University out of Pennsylvania. Midway through the first quarter, MSU gets on the board. Trevor Jones fields the punt, cuts left, finds a seaman. We'll see you later. 39 yards on the return for the touchdown. Morehead State takes a 7-0 lead. Second period, Eagles now up 14-6. Ryan Watkins bounces off the would-be tacklers, bangs his way in for 6 more. Home team up 21-6. 2 minutes later, Austin Gayhafer throws a missile across the middle and finds Jalen Elliott in the end zone. 21 yards on the score. and Morehead State was not done. Eagles actually would score 21 points in the final 4 minutes of the first half, and Morehead State snaps that two-game skid with a 56-6 blowout of Lincoln.
Yeah, preseason's over, and I think the great thing about it, David, is we've taken a big step week 1, week 2, week 3, and we got to continue to do that as we enter conference play. And there's still a lot of things that we can be better at, and I know we're going to work and get ready for a really good football team in Drake.
EKU is back on the road and back at the FBS level visiting Ball State. Ball State was cooking early in the parking lot and on the field. Riley Neal rolls to his right, finds Devin Reese for the touchdown. 7-0 Ball State. After forcing an EKU punt, Cardinals back in the red zone. Neal going to keep it himself this time. 12 yards up the middle and stretching it across the goal line. 14-0. Meanwhile, the Colonels offense just never got going today. Benny Coney passes on 3rd and 10, and his pass is intercepted. Boom goes the dynamite. EKU's offense never got going. Ball State wins big 41-14. Home opener for Kentucky State, and an angry John L. Smith and the Reds hosting Virginia State. Second quarter, Virginia State up 7-0. Kayvon Bellamy busts loose down the sideline, 30-plus yard gain on the carry, and that'll set up this. Virginia State's Bellamy goes in from a yard out for the touchdown. 13-0 Trojans. Later on in the second, Stephen Mines trying to extend the Trojans' lead, but loses the football, and Keontae Reynolds recovers it for Kentucky State. However, a 67-yard touchdown from KSU's Demetrius Anderson in the third would not be enough as Virginia State wins 20-7. Will the Bengals have revenge on their minds when they travel to Pittsburgh on Sunday? Game time continues after the break. The last time the Bengals and the Steelers met up, it was a playoff meltdown for the ages by the team in orange and black. And just when it looked like the Bengals would finally break through with a playoff win, a turnover followed by 2 costly unsportsmanlike conduct penalties gave Pittsburgh a chip shot field goal and the win. As hard as it may be for the Bengals to forget that, they said that they're putting that game behind them when they visit Pittsburgh on Sunday. And you can see the rematch of the Bengals and the Steelers Sunday afternoon, 1 o'clock, right here on WKYT. The Bengals and the Steelers met 3 times last season. The visiting team won all 3 times. So, of course, Cincinnati hoping that that will be the case once again. Big win for the Cats tonight. We'll have more on that game also coming up tomorrow. Thanks again for joining us for WKYT Game Time. Good night, Kentucky.